What's the most devious thing your sisters have ever done? I caught them many times. My sisters were not goody-goodies, that's for sure. When they got older, they were a handful for my parents. The twins are eidetic, or have a type of photographic memory. Extremely smart and never had to study through school or college. Me, as their younger brother, somehow had this gene bypass me and I had to study my butt off, although with the help of my sisters, I got good marks. They were always willing to help me and explain things better than the teachers. I thought I was adopted once because of this. My sisters got so angry at me that they yelled something to the effect, "RJ, you are our real brother. Can't you see we look so much alike?" My mother settled it all showing my birth certificate. Yep, I was a genuine Holland with two smart older sisters. The girls did help me with my studies. We are best of friends and lived our lives doing things together. We were taught at a young age to care, love and protect each other. We still do. My dad once said, "It's one thing to have two daughters that really keep you going all the time, but when they're smarter than you, that's another." At 16, they would sneak my dad's good cigars. They would both crawl out of my bedroom window onto the roof over the porch where we watched stars together and light up. The first time I found them doing that, I was reading comics on my bed. I could smell cigar smoke coming through my open window. I looked and there was Lori and Tracy smoking these huge Churchill cigars. "Hi RJ, hey come out here. You can get high smoking these and they're not drugs." I saw the band on the cigars. I said, "Geez you guys, those are Cuban cohibas, they're expensive." Lori looks at me and says, "Whatever. Dad can afford them." "Are you coming out RJ?" "Sorry, I'm not coming out and getting in trouble for that. You guys are on your own," I said and went back to my comics. They never got in trouble with Dad. Oh, he might have a talk with them, but it was my mother who was the lawmaker. We never got spanked, but we sure got grounded. They would sneak my dad's port wine, drink some of it then refill it with water. My parents had friends over one night and Dad poured them some port. His friend said to him, "Hey Jim, you always serve your guests the watered down port and save the good stuff for yourself?" Dad took a sip and nearly blew it out of his mouth like a comedian. He knew what was going on. Next day he bought 2 port wines. Hit the good one. Poured 3/4 of the wine from the other bottle into an empty bottle and filled the rest with vinegar. "That should give them the pucker factor," he said to me. He kept that to himself. Mom never knew. My bedroom window was on the 2nd floor where we would climb out on the porch roof and watch stars. "RJ, quick, give the binocs, Cassiopeia is coming up," Tracy would say. Oh, we knew our night sky. We always watched for UFOs. From the porch roof, a sturdy lattice work was attached and went to the ground. Some nights the girls would put padding in their beds, they had separate rooms, and wigs they bought just for that purpose, to make it look like they were sleeping, and they would sneak out of my window at night to be with their friends. "Don't say anything RJ, love you. And don't close or lock this window or we're screwed." One day my sister Lori, 17, pulled a Ferris Bueller. Lori pretended to be sick and stayed home. Tracy and I went to school. Mom and Dad went to work. At 12, the school office got a phone call from our mother that we had forgotten a dentist appointment. She said she would pick us up. When Tracy came to my class to get me, I knew we had no dentist appointment. She whispered, "RJ, just go along with me." She explained to my teacher about the dentist and to check with the office. He said no need and we both went outside where Lori was waiting in her car. And away we went to spend an afternoon at a movie. The girls stepped up and protected their little brother when I got in trouble. I tried building a treehouse in my backyard and I dropped a 2x4 that fell through our glass patio table. I did so many things like that my elder twin sisters tried to protect me from Mom's wrath and they started taking the blame for the things I did. Lori said she was trying to build something up in the tree but dropped the 2x4. "Building what?" Mom asked. "What could a 17-year-old girl possibly be building up in a tree?" she asked. "Oh, a yard decoration to surprise you," Lori said innocently. My mom looked at me and I shrugged. "I know what you guys are doing. I wasn't born yesterday," she said. "Last week I had taken all my model airplanes out into the backyard and shot them up with my BB gun." Tracy, Lori's twin sister, took the blame on that one. She said she felt like shooting something up, giving Mom her best innocent look. "You mean you, a 17-year-old girl, took your brother's planes out, grabbed his BB gun and shot them just because you wanted to shoot something up? You actually think I believe that?" Mom said, hands on hips, looking at all the plastic pieces in the backyard. "Yeah, I was hoping," Tracy said matter-of-factly. Mom looked at me and I shrugged. "He doesn't seem that mad about it," Mom said. "No, he's actually taking it pretty good," Tracy said, smiling at me. My dad piped in, "Got to hand it to the girl Carrie. She's a pretty good shot," my dad said, winking at Tracy. "Oh, you're so much help Jim," my mom said. "Stop protecting your brother," she said sternly to Tracy. "He's got to take the blame for what he does." "RJ, honestly, sometimes I really wonder about you," Mom said. Another time, they were 18, I was 16. Lori and Tracy were sunbathing in the backyard. I was with them but reading a book. I heard Lori say to Tracy, "Don't look, but that guy living across from us is looking at us with binoculars." I looked slowly so I wouldn't be noticed. Sure enough, I saw him with a pair of binoculars looking at the twins. I got up, but before I could do anything, Lori quickly ran into the house and came back out with my dad's big binoculars that we watched stars with. She stood in the middle of the backyard and looked right at him with the binoculars. She waved at him and yelled, "Hi. How does it feel, jerk?" Sure enough, the glint of the voyeur's binoculars disappeared and the window closed. Yep, couldn't get much by those sisters of mine. Then there was the time the girls were washing their cars. I was helping. Lori noticed the same guy looking at them from the house across the way with binoculars. She casually went into the house and came out with Dad's binoculars. She sat on the hood of her car and stared at him with the binoculars waving at him. That was Lori. The guy disappeared. My mother made a turkey dinner, and for 3 days after that we had leftovers, hot turkey sandwiches, etc. Mom and Dad were going out to dinner and a movie. She made us turkey stew for supper. Later, Lori asked me if I wanted my usual ham and pineapple pizza for dinner. The twins were 17 here, I was 15. I said, "What about Mom's stew?" Lori said, "If I have turkey one more time, I'm going to barf." I told her I'm having some stew because I liked it. She ordered pizzas for Tracy and herself and threw the rest of the stew in the garbage after I took a bowl full. They did share some of their pizzas with me though. I didn't always agree with what the girls did and many times kept away from their crazy schemes. My mother once said if all the girls in the world were like Lori and Tracy, men wouldn't have a chance, neither would the world. Whenever my sister Tracy got in trouble or talked back, my mom would give her heck and Tracy would give a flippant comment. My mom, hands on hips, would say to her, "You think you're pretty cute, don't you?" Tracy would always look at her and say, "Yeah, actually I do." What happened to these girls? We still get together. We get together a lot and go to movies, sports games, dinners. We are more best friends than brother and sisters. They both married young, both divorced, both married again later in life and are happy. No children, which is how they wanted it, which is strange because we had a ball as kids. After college they kept modeling and had a great career. They were asked to go to Hollywood by an agent from Universal Pictures and earned it down because they did not want that life. After my dad retired, he owned 2 car dealerships. The twins took them over and made them both great successes.